All right, you are now tuned into the Rotated Views podcast, episode number 31. I am your host, Jimmylee. I'm here with Goose, Heck, and Gabe. That's right, guys. Let's celebrate. All right, so in this episode, we discuss what celebrating means to us and its importance, our favorite things to celebrate, things we enjoy celebrating with our children, and what we wish to celebrate more often, and our views on excessive celebrations in professional sports. We wrap the episode up with quotes from Dianna Agron and Tom Peters. All right, so to kick things off, I wanted to define the word celebrate from dictionary.com. They define it as to observe, parentheses, a day or commemorate, parentheses, an event with ceremonies or festivities. So, in light of Let's Celebrate topic, I found a short story titled Job Celebration, and I got this from smilesforall.com. And the story goes like this. I was excited. I just applied for an awesome job. I called to confirm they had received my application and actually got to speak to one of the hiring managers. They sounded positive about my application, so I convinced myself I was perfect for the position. I was in an upbeat mood. So I cranked up the radio and began singing in my best Celine Dion impression, the song we all know and love, My Heart Will Go On. I may or may not have succeeded in hitting all the high notes. If I did, it was not very well. But I was definitely putting my heart and soul into the song. The song came to an end and I gave a satisfied sigh. How could this day possibly get better? A nearly guaranteed job and an awesome ballad on the radio. What luck. Then I heard clapping and possibly snickering as I realized in horror that in my excitement, I forgot to lock my phone keypad and I accidentally hit the redial button in my last call. My future place of work not only had someone pick up the phone, but they kindly put it on speakerphone so the office staff could be entertained. They were all polite enough to clap at the end, but I never did find out whether they wanted an encore because they never called me back.
Oh.
Celebrate. So,
That's awesome.
Yeah, that is definitely, celebration worthy. And I'm sure we all know that feeling of getting the job, even if it's like a small part-time job, it is something, or just landing something like that kind of, your excited feeling or whatever. I don't know about singing songs or whatever, but everything does seem to be appearing in life as like, in a lighter, in a lighter, I don't even know. Everything just seems amazing. Nothing can go
happy
wrong.
And funny and
yeah,
just bubbles.
It's great. You just look around and say, it's great.
That's all you can look at.
You're on a natural high.
You're on a natural high. You just look at the leaves. You're like, wow.
That's
beautiful.
Great bubbles.
That's great.
It's amazing.
That's great. Oh, look at me. I have a half tank of gas. That's great. You know what I mean? Everything is great. You start looking at everything with a cup half full. You know what I mean?
You're the optimistic, everything.
You're very optimistic. But, it's fun to celebrate, right? I mean,
absolutely.
We all have attended and have created celebrations ourselves, right? I'm not sure if it was this, to the extent where this girl got so excited where she butt dialed this place and
a possible future.
I just thought it was hilarious that the people were clapping at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
That's funny.
That's awesome.
So, all right. So when you guys hear the word celebration, what do you think of? Just the word.
Party. Yeah. More or less. I mean, to me,
it's like it's a happy moment.
Yeah.
A happy moment.
Excitement.
But see, I don't think party.
No?
Nah. You said party. I don't think party. When I think celebration is like a much more like grander thing to me. Like a party is like a birthday party to me.
Oh.
Yeah. Celebration is like, to me, is like let's celebrate, like a wedding. Like, we're going to celebrate this. Yeah. Or getting a new house.
It doesn't even have to be with...
Yeah,
exactly.
That's
it doesn't
what I
have
think
to be
of.
a bunch of people. It could be you and someone else celebrating something.
Yeah, like me and my wife, when we purchased our home, we celebrated with, I'm not even kidding you, with a bottle of Moet and Burger King. Nice. And we sat on like buckets of, like this 5-gallon, spackle buckets.
Awesome.
And one of those like... those wooden tables that you pull in front of the couch, like to eat, like
TV dinner.
Portable tables, yeah.
But that was our actual table.
For the moment.
Yeah, and I remember not even wanting to eat because I was just like so excited.
Your nerves get to you.
But we just ate anyway. We were just like, oh, whatever, dude. It was like
Awesome.
one of my favorite dinners ever.
Memorable.
But
definitely.
that was a celebration.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you're saying, like Gabe said, is milestone-ish, so to speak.
Right.
For me, when I think of celebration,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's such a great word too.
Yeah.
Like celebration. It's more of like an uplifting, like more powerful thing. Like let's have a party.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So what do you, for you guys, what's the importance of celebrating?
To acknowledge like the milestone that's like just happened. Whatever. It's like it's
Yeah.
more acknowledgement of what you've accomplished.
Yeah, and
Right.
most of the time
What
you
you-
worked hard to get to that
Yeah.
part. So
Yeah.
it's like, fine, we got it, we did it, or whatever.
Because like you said, it's not the specific activity. It's the fact that you sat in a bucket and ate Burger King and champagne. But that was the best thing ever because you were accomplishing buying your new house or whatever.
You're
it was.
in your new home.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
it was celebration worthy. I don't even know. It's funny because all right. So it's important because I feel like for me, it's kind of like how you're saying, you work so hard to do something or to get something and just to accomplish something, and you don't just stop. To me, it's just that brief moment of kind of a reflection and kind of like a toasting or a salute to all the hurdles and barriers that person or thing you overcame for this winning moment in life that you can pause and celebrate, show appreciation to. I have to celebrate stuff. Otherwise, to me, it's like, well, what's, all the hard work. And like Goose said, celebrating doesn't have to be, it's not like we have 500 people here.
Yeah.
Celebrating can be small scale or big scale. It doesn't matter. Like, for another example would be when I, put out my my spoken word album, The Motivation Files. I had people come over to the house and we kind of celebrated. I kind of talked about the album. It was kind of like, what are those when artists have an album and they kind of like talk about the album and they're kind of like walking you through each song.
The release party?
Yeah, album release party.
Yeah.
Nothing close to that. But I'm saying kind of like I was trying to explain. I was explaining. I didn't realize what I was doing till afterwards. I was like, this dude swear he had an album release party. But no, it was just really a thank you to everyone and just, and kind of, showing them that the hard work does pay off, that if you do have a dream and you go after it with hard work, due diligence, consistency, and persistency, that stuff happens. That stuff comes into fruition. And so you have to celebrate, I believe. And celebration has nothing to do with money. It doesn't mean you have to splurge and go buying like all this crazy stuff to celebrate. Celebration is just an emotional thing. It's something that you just do to stop and share that moment with people. And that's what I was trying to do. I don't know if I 100% accomplished it. I know for me, it was satisfying. It was like, that's what I wanted to do. It was nothing big. Obviously, it was held in my own house, but I just had like, 10, 15 people. That was it.
Yeah.
But the people came and realized, this is worth stopping and celebrating enough to even show up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, people feed off of your vibe, how excited you are, and they see you accomplish something, so they want to be as a part of it, or be around. And most people want to be like the first for everything, so you're like announcing it. You release, like we had like demos. We're the first ones to get it, so it's like appreciative with you, like as you celebrate. Yeah,
I mean, I have for each like big thing, let's just say, that I celebrate, we buy a bottle of Moet.
Yeah.
For example, for the podcast we stopped and had the bottle of Moet for, I think it was for 5th episode or something like that. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure. It was I don't know, because we recorded so many episodes before the actual number one, so I don't know where it was, but it was in the beginning. Oh, it was just a good time. So, but anyway, my whole point was, all right, so every, kind of like event thing that we have, I celebrate with a bottle of champagne. That's what I wanted to say. So when I did the album release party, we had multiple bottles of champagne.
Yeah.
And then for the podcast, early on in the, release of, the Rotated Views podcast, we stopped. We had a bottle of Moet Rosé, and we just stopped. And, I think we had Stogs and everything afterwards. But we just appreciated the moment because the guys, sure as anything, knew how hard this was to put together and, you know, accomplish something like that. So when I think celebration, to me, it's like meaningful. That's why I don't associate it with a party. Oh, let's have a party. To me, it's totally different.
Makes sense.
And then
broke it down.
Yeah, and then like the same thing, like the celebration of my son's life, my wife giving birth. That's a celebration to me. Like I had a celebration. I mean, so you define it as a party, heck.
Celebration?
Yeah.
Yeah, somewhat until you just start going on with that and kind of realize that there's a difference between celebration and party. Celebrating is when you're, obviously, like you were saying, celebrating something that's memorable or, you know, but I don't know. I guess I thought of it like party, like celebrate. Let's celebrate a birthday party, or let's celebrate like.
Yeah. No, it is though. It is. And then, but I'm just saying like how I like obviously because you're celebrating another year or whatever. But when I think of celebration, I'm just saying that word. I just said like what comes to mind when you think of the word. That word is just like a higher, you know, at a higher standard. Like compared to like saying when you think of the word party, what do you think of? You know, I wouldn't say I think of the same thing for each.
Yeah.
Right.
That's all I was saying. Obviously, when you have birthday parties, you're celebrating someone's life. Yeah, you're celebrating. But I was just saying, what did we think of when you heard the word celebration? So recently, we had my grandfather's 75th birthday party.
That's what I was gonna say.
So what are family celebrations like in you know Team VC?
What are they like? You said?
Yeah, like you know, not everyone has.
Well, we have our family is very, very tight. And that we all like to celebrate together and have a good time and make sure that everyone is enjoying the celebration for whatever the cause may be. Like our grandfather's birthday party, surprise 75th birthday party. Like everybody was there and everybody was having a good time. There was, you know, if something was off, you try not to focus on that and take that away. And
well, the main thing is like to give him that credit and acknowledgement. Like that day. When we did it, it was all eyes on him.
Right.
And like celebrate his 75 years of living. And he, as he sat around, looked at all of us that like, if it wasn't for him,
none of us would have been there.
Literally,
none of us would have been there.
So it's like we give him all that, kind of give him all the appreciation that he's made it this far, you know, and so far for the most part in good health. Right. And that like it made him like he. Actually, watching him, he was like in tears. Never seen like him, like a grown man, like the guy I looked up to. Yeah. Kind of like be all choked up and not like in a bad way, good emotionally. Just emotional, like, And I mean, I don't know what was going through his head, but we celebrated that 75th monument like that for him big. In honor of him. Big, everything was pampered and catered to him.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like you can see the impact someone has on other people's lives when everyone can get together and do something like that. It was not like a forced thing. Right. If you talk to any family member on the day of, a week before, whatever, everyone was just flat out pumped. Like they're excited because you know how he is. That's the thing. That's what made the celebration more exciting, or we anticipated the fun just because every time you see him, he's like, like it's always like he's excited and happy and enthusiastic about seeing you. Like, you know, like some people are like, whoa, this guy is full of energy. I mean, 75 years old, still young, but just that level of impact that he had is a very big difference when you know you probably have a party for someone who isn't, I guess, doesn't have that level of impact. I mean, on someone's life. But our parties are fun. Our parties are everyone's having a good time. Everyone's getting along. You know, it's really just a special gathering. With a good conversation, fantastic food. This specific one we had at a restaurant.
Yeah, it was.
I don't know how many. About 35 people, and it was good size. Food was excellent. Everything about it though, and I feel like when it's for someone like that, or like, you know, purposeful and meaningful, everything somehow works out so smooth. Yeah. I mean, my mom was the one who brought my grandfather, right? So I think the surprise was so good that we got surprised because she came a tad bit earlier than what was planned, right?
To know our mom, she's very punctual. So for her to be like the one to bring someone, you have to like kind of buy time and be like laggish. That's not her. So she was obviously kind of the wrong person to bring him.
Yeah, she used the GPS just to go to church. So there was no divergence that she was going to do
to kill time.
To kill time. Like, she put the GPS in and she was just going straight to the location. So she had told us, well, this is what I was told. He's coming after 5:30. So I kid you not, we park and it's 5:26, or we're pulling in at 5:26. So I'm hyped. I'm like, yeah, we got it. All of a sudden, I just literally see my grandfather and my mom walking into the parking and getting out, and I'm like, there's no way. Like, we missed the surprise. And they're walking, and one of my other uncles, my great uncles, pulls up, parks, and he gets out of the car.
Yeah.
And then I think my grandfather kind of saw him and kind of like played it off at the same time and just kind of kept walking. But that's what happens. And then somebody else was saying they were told 6. So I don't even know. Yeah. But luckily, the majority of the people were there already.
Okay.
So it didn't really.
But in all, he was still surprised. He didn't know.
He had no idea.
Whether he ran into people in the parking lot or inside, he didn't know this whole. He thought him and my mom were going out for dinner. Yeah. So to see like us scattered or however it happened.
Right.
Obviously, in the Spanish culture, it's people are always all over the place.
He actually thought he was going to me and Kelly's anniversary dinner.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what he thought he was going.
Oh, man. But, I mean, just for him to see everybody gather for him, you know what I mean? Like, to gather up to go out to dinner for him for a surprise party, even though if it didn't turn out to be a surprise, because I sure as heck didn't surprise him. I surprised myself by seeing them all there before me. So, we thought we were on time, because we were told he was going to be there by 6.
Yeah.
That's what I was told. So we got there at 5:40, and I'm like, surprise! And he's sitting there surprising me. Like, oh, boy.
But in all, it was like one of those things, like, if you didn't get a second to stop and, like, sit back and view what was going on, like, you could appreciate everything. Like, I'm sitting there, I stopped, like, I was kind of coming from the bathroom, walking in towards where the party room was at, and I look, and I just kind of, like, slowed down. I see, like, where he's at, and I see him looking, and I see, like, at this point, his eyes are a little puffy, and I see like his great grandkids like running up to him. Then he has like his kids sitting in front of him, and like there's like so many generations, and it's all here for this one person, this one guy, and like I got to capture like just soak in just a little bit of it, but it's like it was like amazing, and that's like that was like a true celebration. Like everyone's there for a celebration.
I was gonna say that like you could see him sitting there, and when like you said, he was like just focusing, like looking. Because he was at the head of, of the place where we were sitting at. And you can see him just looking. It's like my mom, so it's basically his kids, like right literally in front of him. And it's like grandkids. And then it's like great grandkids. And it's like, so it's like a whole generation thing. So it was like pretty cool to see that going down the line and stuff. Like everybody's there. Excited to see him because even my kids were like, we're going to go see Willow. Like so excited to go to his birthday party.
Yeah.
Even until this morning, Nova goes, Dad, are we going to go Willow's party?
Yeah.
I'm like, we already went, baby. She's like, I want to go again. I was like, okay, we'll go.
Yeah, I mean, James was the same way. I mean, my grandfather was, he can't drive now. Right at this moment, he can't drive. So my mom has been picking him up and just having him at her house and just hanging out, whatever. So he just, kind of gets out of his house, gets away for a little bit. But anyway, so for like the last month or so, every time we go to my mom's, my grandfather's there, and so James now expects every time he goes to my mom's house, he's like, "Where's Willow? Where's Willow? Where's Willow?" So he knew it's like this party is for Willow. He was pumped, like awesome. Pumped. Yeah, it was. And
in celebrations like this too, like there were some you don't see everyone together at once, or there's people you don't see often, on occasions. So you like reunite with people you haven't seen. Like his brother was there. I seen him a couple days ago, but before that, I hadn't seen him in years, or whatever. But like there's like a group of people that you just don't have a chance to see. So you reunite and kind of like just over this one celebration.
Yeah, I mean, even if you're close to someone, that you still don't get to see them that often, right? Yeah. On a regular basis. We're all adults. We all have our own schedules. We're all busy. Majority of people have kids and stuff like that. So everyone has their own thing, so it is nice to get people together. Yeah. And then when it's it's a bonus when it's for someone special like that to everyone. Yeah, I mean it's not just us. He has that impact on basically everyone he comes in contact with. So, but Gabe, how do you guys have like big celebration? You have little celebrations? You have no celebrations? How's it?
Not really. like my family is pretty much scattered.
Yeah.
So like I only have like my one aunt lives in like Philly, whatever. But like the one main family that I hang out with is one's like Virginia, and one's in Florida. So like
Okay.
But we did on vacation this past summer. We did like we stayed in like a house in Florida, and we had my aunt and stuff like, which we don't see that often anyway. They came up and like we barbecued and all stuff too. So it was like there was a big bunch of us at the house, and usually, like the last time we went down there, everybody was like either away or on like just not around.
Yeah.
So we were actually able to get a bunch of people together. Like my grandparents, everything came over because they live in Florida too. So we had everybody over. So yeah, it was like we barbecued and had a ton of food and whatever too, which doesn't happen very often anymore. Like like back in the day, like younger, we had like growing up, my family didn't really do holidays or birthdays or anything like that. Anyway.
Yeah.
So like mainly what we did was like graduations and stuff like that. So like so we have done like when I graduated high school or like 8th grade and stuff like that. We'd have like go dinner. We did like do a big party for like that type of stuff, but that's like a rarity now anymore. Just because like you can't get everybody together anymore. Not like y'all. Most of y'all families like are in the area. Mine's like not really. So
yeah. So our family for that specific party, obviously that was my mom's side. So that was all like my mom's side of the family, and they are literally all within 10 miles of each other. Now, when it comes to my dad's family, it's the same thing. Everyone lives in different states, all over the place, scattered all over the United States and Puerto Rico and all kinds of stuff. So that is like rare. So it's like once every vacation or sadly a funeral. Yeah, that's the time where we actually get to see each other. But anyway, they say that a lot. Celebration or weddings or funerals, that's when you see most of the people
That's when everybody comes out the woodwork in some way or another.
No, I mean it's cool. I mean it was fascinating. It really is, because like Goose was saying, like you sit back and you're looking at him, like you see all these like his emotions coming out. He's watery eyed. He's so like you could tell he was like appreciative and like kind of overwhelmed at the same time, because he definitely got caught off guard. He was not expecting that.
No, not at all.
And if you know my grandfather, he's a straight G. Like no matter where he goes, he's wearing a suit and tie and all this other stuff. So he already hit one of the first comments he made. He's like, "Oh man, I'm not even dressed for my own party, dressed appropriately," which it was just fine. But it was just funny because what
he thinks is appropriate.
Yeah, I mean he is like old school, man.
Yeah.
He was from the era where you went to the airport and took flights in suits. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that was like that was like a big thing. So, all right. So moving right along, explain what kind of things you celebrate, right? So I know I just kind of went into kind of like the whole releasing the album thing and having a child. Is there anything else that you kind of like make significant?
Well, I know we had like a little celebration when I opened up the barbershop.
Yeah.
It was like I opened the shop, and then like 2 weeks later we had like a grand opening, just family, like close family, or family and close friends,
right?
And remember, it was just like we filled the shop up with people. It was like you couldn't even move, and we had like the cutting of the ribbon kind of thing, and then we actually did it. We had a toast. Yeah, I don't remember what it was, champagne or not. But I remember
it was Moet. No, because we had pictures holding like 2 bottles of Moet or whatever.
Yeah, so it was so much going on. I was kind of like overwhelmed that like all these people kept coming in. But and it was like a celebration of like me opening up my shop. Like it was one of my dreams, like come true, and it happened. And like the support with the whole family being there, it makes you feel like you're like, dude, I got this. I really like. I'm nervous. I was nervous coming up to it, and then I realized you see all the backing you have with like just people's support. Yeah, and it just makes you feel like grander. Like it just that celebration to me was huge. Which was awesome.
Yeah, so we had fake, like those gum cigars that say like "It's a boy" and that's like blue gum or it's a girl. We had like "It's a barbershop" ones. It's just hysterical. Yeah. But aside from that, we bought like like the highest quality cigars, real cigars that we can get our hands on. And I think one of the most fascinating and I guess times where we actually paused during that celebration, to me, that was my favorite, was when everyone stood in a circle and kind of gave their I guess, I don't know, their congratulatory speech, for lack of better words, to my brother. Yeah. So everyone's kind of going, and some people were giving like childhood experiences that like, what in the world did that?
Yeah, essentially giving toast.
Yeah, each person basically gave a toast, and I'm talking about, dude, there was like 20 people there, and everyone was going, and it was like, wow, that was very, like touching and moving, and people were emotional, and it was awesome. That was like one of my favorites. Like if I didn't know obviously it's impactful for you, but I was like, if he doesn't say that one, I'm definitely bringing that.
No,
one up.
that definitely was like, and you don't realize like how much of an impact you put on people until they say it. Like you just think you're just doing what you do, and you don't. Right. It's nothing big to you, and it's just, or you're just living life like you do, and you're just the type of person you are. That's just who you are. But people do appreciate it, like. Or they like it or they don't, but you don't know until they express it to you.
Yeah, right.
So that day, a lot of people were expressing their feelings on how like they remember what I wanted as a kid, or I've been doing it as young, and they just I don't know. It's amazing. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's cool. They I feel like when you were just saying that, it reminded me of our wedding where you kind of go around and for us we did it during cocktail hour where the bride and groom kind of goes around and says hi to everybody, thanks them for coming, and all this. Cool stuff or whatever. Plus, seeing people you haven't even seen for some occasion. But it was along the same lines. People were telling us, "Oh, I remember when you two first dated." Meanwhile, I didn't even know that this person even knew that we were dating. And then they said a story. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, that was that long ago." Yeah. But it was cool. You're saying like people do pay attention to certain things. I mean, we're just talking about like the things that we do like to celebrate. What are some things that you wish you celebrated more often? I know for me, it's not even more often. It's almost kind of funny at this point. All right, so apparently, when a child starts to crawl, it's not a milestone, and I was so tripped out by that, right? And I still argue this, because to me, any form of movement or anything new. Any new accomplishment my kid does, I'm going to celebrate. So that has always been, it's more of a joke at this point. But me and my wife got like an argument. She was like, it's not a milestone. I'm like, that doesn't mean I can't celebrate it. The kid went from rolling around, doing like somersaults to like crawling. Like I thought isn't that closer to walking?
You got to crawl before you walk. So.
I mean, that is a closer step to walking. So I mean,
I don't know why they don't consider it a milestone. I have no idea why. I don't care actually, because I'm still going to celebrate it.
I don't know if I would celebrate that though.
No,
I don't know. That's like celebrating because he got his first tooth. Like, do you celebrate that?
Like I celebrate.
No. I'm not saying celebrate like we threw a party. I'm just saying like celebrating like getting pumped. Like, yeah, buddy. Like,
oh well, yeah. Within each other.
See, I was on your page.
I thought you were having anniversaries and stuff about him.
This
like,
guy.
First time he crawled.
Yeah.
No, I meant like celebrating.
3 years. 3 years today, you crawled right there.
No, on a very much more mild, way.
Well, yeah.
I mean, like we celebrated like because we're talking about how we celebrate milestones, right?
Right.
And it was. I consider that as a milestone. I'm saying celebrate like as in like, I made note of it. Write it in the notebook, Kel. Like, make sure we put this down on this day he crawled. Like, I don't remember what day that was. Yeah. I'm just saying like at that time it was like I was pumped.
Yeah.
Well, that's like with us. We celebrate every time a child, one of our children, because we have 20, learns how to potty train. Like we get them potty trained. Like we celebrate and acknowledge that I guess to help them.
So you don't have to pay for Pampers?
Yeah, so we don't have to buy any more Pampers. We're celebrating because, no more Pampers. And we're celebrating them to like learning how to go to potties their next step.
Well, that's a win-win right there.
So it's like it is a win-win. So it's like it's awesome because they think they're a big girl at this point because that's all they want to be is big girls. And it's like for us it's a relief because
financial relief,
yeah. But so we always make note of that, like with celebrating them and. I don't know it's not praise, but what's the word when you like I don't know yay you did it. It's not celebrating. It's praise is kind of a stronger word for that. Acknowledgement.
So all right. So going back to the original question though, is there something that you guys wish you celebrated more? Yeah, or more often.
As far as what like family wise or like kid
just
wise
anything in general.
I don't think I really have time to celebrate. I'm not trying to be like any which way, but like we have so much going on that like unless it's something that's like planned, Like we really we're on a whim all day long. Like you saw today.
Yeah, but
I don't think. Yeah, I don't think
it could be something different. Like Ava, she does like dance. So when she does like one of her recitals or whatever, you kind of like at the end you celebrate. You're like, you did a good job. You give her flowers or whatever.
Okay.
Sometimes you probably go out to dinner or something. That's like a little. Yeah. They practice for months.
Okay, so then we did that not too long ago. A couple weeks ago, we did that for Lainey. She had her spelling test, and she did good. She got 100 on her spelling test. So I told her, I was like, I'll have a surprise for you. There you go. I have a surprise for you if you get 100 on Friday. There you go.
Yeah, no, I don't mean it like you have to take time and go to the dollar store and buy balloons and have like all this thing. I'm just saying, just celebrate.
You want to go to the dollar store? They have terrible things in there.
Yeah, no, they don't.
It's all BPA not friendly.
BPA not friendly, guys. No. And I mean like we were saying earlier, like the small celebrations, like I celebrated, James crawling or whatever. Yeah. I mean, what is there something, that, and to go back on the time thing though, I'm still on the firm belief that people will do what they want to do no matter what. That's an excuse for you not doing whatever it is that you want, not wanting to do, whatever it is. There's a time, and if something's important, a perfect example, not to be all daunting or anything, but if someone were to die, right? No matter what you had going on the day of their funeral service, you're there. Someone that you know, you love and care. You make time to go there.
It's true.
That's the perfect example. I know it's not the perfect example. It's an awful example. But that was what someone said to me that like it stayed stuck in my head.
Yeah.
Like you will do what you really want to do or need to do, no matter what.
Absolutely.
But anyway, sidebar. But I'm kind of like on the same thing. I don't know.
Well, not that it's like a celebration, but for me at the end of the week, like Saturday after work, like I kind of, last one usually to leave, I lock up and I kind of like look back at the shop and I just, dude, this was a successful week. Like it was awesome. Like I just say it to myself and I'm like just happy, and then got a couple of days off, whatever, and just like walk out. But then you feel good walking out. It's like a personal like, I don't know.
Yeah,
it's a personal celebration.
Yeah, it's like, but you just like no, it was something that was good. It was a successful week. So
I think like a lot of people do that, and I'm not sure. Yours is totally different because yours is like in a business sense. People are like, TGIF.
Yeah.
And they're celebrating the weekend or like the upcoming weekend, which is actually kind of funny. But yeah, I don't know. I think sometimes we find ourselves, and I don't know if there's a male thing or like a hardworking male thing, that we are. Let me just speak about myself. You're constantly working. You're constantly doing all this stuff. You're trying to like make more things happen. You're the provider. You're doing all this that we sometimes don't stop to appreciate ourselves. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And not to say that I will do anything different. I think it'll be more of like a mental reflection thing that I would wish I was doing more often. Because that's like these little wins, these little celebrations, I guess, in my mind. Like, dude, we're doing good. This week we got X, Y, and Z accomplished, and we're making some progress on more of your dreams and more of your goals. You know what I'm saying? Where I feel like it's something, very small scale. It's not nothing like huge or whatever. I'm not going to surprise myself with balloons and confetti and just throw it in my head. But that's something, and it's necessary. I feel like that kind of fills voids, that heals wounds, that acts as a Band-Aid, that acts as a a source of encouragement as well, motivation, hype. Anyway, I was just saying that we just fly through the day or fly through the week, month, year, whatever it is, and sometimes we just really need to stop because we feel like you have to keep going nonstop, and then you have to,
you gotta appreciate yourself.
Exactly.
It's very like far few in between where your boss or someone's gonna be like, oh, you had a good week,
exactly,
like good job or whatever. It's not every week. They do that every day,
Right.
You have to kind of like do that for yourself, I guess, like you already said.
Yeah.
Reflect on what you've done and acknowledge.
All right, so shifting gears, what were your favorite things to celebrate as a kid? Holidays, birthdays, other events. What was like your favorite thing to celebrate?
Obviously, the holidays. When you're a kid, you're Christmas. Of course, you can't, like, the year feels like forever until Christmas comes.
Yeah.
Then you're as an adult, Christmas comes too fast. And you want to push the brakes on it.
He's like, whoa.
Yeah. As a kid, I don't know.
Yeah, for me it was birthday.
Yeah.
Because it was kind of like in a selfish way, because it was like, oh, this is my own day.
Yeah.
Everybody was celebrating it for you.
Yeah.
It wasn't like Christmas where everybody's celebrating the day.
Yeah, exactly.
And your birthday's like in the middle of the year.
Yeah,
so
it was
it's like
awesome.
it's broken up.
Yeah.
My birthday's in January, so it's like not too big of a...
I always thought that as a kid. I was like, I make out because my birthday's like I get gifts happen. So I get it on Christmas and I get it in the middle of the year because I'm in July. I always thought that like as a kid. Selfish.
Absolutely. Well, when I got smarter and like I was like in middle school, I would ask for sneakers in June and then ask for sneakers again in December. You know, it was like a fresh pair of sneakers on rotation. It was perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see holidays, but it's funny because mine was a birthday, just because I thought it was all the gifts are for me.
Yeah. Honestly, I think for me too, it was like not that it was a holiday. It was like passing to the next grade.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't the most brightest kid in the planet.
Yeah.
So like I just was average, just made it through. But it was like I'm a type of person. I work hard and I still like barely make it. So like studying, and then you just get that C. You're like, what the heck? You swore you had 100.
Yeah.
So like, as soon as you like get to you're passing to 7th to 8th grade, you're like, oh yes, I did it. I got a summer off, whatever. So it's like a relief. Like I actually passed.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's like to me that was like one of the things. Like you're nervous up until that point.
Yeah.
I mean, you know if you're gonna pass or not, but like it's still like what if I fail my final? Like
yeah. No, I know.
yeah.
That was me when I graduated at Temple. I mean, it was the same thing. No one in my family graduated from college, and I was like doing it. And same thing what he's saying. I went to school with dudes who barely studied, and they got better grades than me. And they know, everyone, you know, Gabe could know, I was literally lived in the library, studying, and I graduated with a 3.0. How much I was studying, I struggled for a 3.0. I mean, that's how bad that was. How much I studied, you would think I would have had a 4.0 or whatever, but it's the same thing, man. I was like, I have to work for this. I mean, and there were some dudes, you know, got a 3.5 and literally did less than half of the work that I did.
I know someone had thought they were getting this a job, and apparently thought it was, I guess, you know, they had a job, like, kind of like the story.
100% guaranteed.
Yeah, like 100% guaranteed. So they went out and bought a vehicle.
Oh.
And then come to find out they never got the job.
What?
So they have a vehicle now.
That's a
that's a
premium.
That's a premature celebration right there.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Like they thought it was at a shoe-in that the shoe kicked him in.
Wow.
Yeah. So speaking on that, what do you guys think of premature celebrations or just celebrations in general when it comes to sports? And specifically, what you just said that, and it reminded me of, I think it was Deshaun Jackson.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
a wide receiver for the Philadelphia
Celebrating
Eagles.
too early?
He celebrated
Well, he
too
did a
Eagles.
flip.
Yeah, he did a flip, or he threw himself backwards, or he
And
did
didn't
something.
make it?
They considered his elbow down, or something was
Yeah,
down.
at the
1 yard line. He had a clear. I don't know if he ran it back.
It was he was running and he went to do a flip into the end zone, but as he did a flip, the ball fell right out of his hand at the 1.
Oh, at the 1. That's
That's
right.
right,
Yeah.
And the ball landed right there. He landed in the end zone, but the ball was still behind. It never passed the goal line.
Too early. Yeah.
That's all like an emotion though. A lot of people, like you said, athletes, they go and they get their first touchdown. They go bananas. They're like dancing in the middle of the end zone. They go up and down,
Yeah,
grab
they
pom poms,
celebrate.
whatever. They get fined for it. They get in trouble, but it's just like out of excitement. Like some people do go crazy and.
Well, yeah,
Up and
because
beyond.
there's like that's what the NFL does, or the NBA or whatever, the professional, you know, organization.
Yeah.
That's what they do. They try to differentiate between excessive celebration and taunting.
Yeah.
Because then taunting is like really like you're
I
like
see.
shoving it in the other team's face versus are you really excited or are you just like a malicious celebration?
Yeah,
there?
well, some
Right,
people
right,
do it.
right.
Like if you're home and you get a touchdown and you're home field, you're like looking at the stands, you're looking at the crowd, you're going like pumping them up, they're pumping you
Yeah.
up. I don't think that's taunting. Like
I don't
think-
either.
Yeah, I
no,
don't
because that's definitely like.
I think they try to get them for
Yeah.
excessive celebration. My thing is, it is such a buzzkill though when you see the flag come up.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, this
Yeah.
is like the one thing that we have.
Yeah.
Like that it makes us human.
It gets
Because
it.
we don't have, none of us here have that athletic ability to do stuff that these guys are doing, but we all know how to celebrate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? We know
Exactly.
how to be excited. And then, or it makes it worse if it's like a boring game and somebody gets this bomb thrown to them and they catch it and it's like, wow, this game, nothing happened for the first 3 quarters, and finally a bomb gets caught. Well, what are you supposed to do? Everyone just be quiet?
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
I don't understand that. It's
golf.
golf.
Yeah,
golf
claps.
Like,
exactly. Yeah, even like basketball players when they dunk and they come up, they scream and they hang on the rim.
Yeah.
Like that 1 second too long, they get penalized for it because you're like hanging on the rim, and some people they think they're like goofing around on it, but really they're saving themselves because a lot of times there's some people underneath you. You're not gonna just let go of the rim and just land on someone. They're just holding themselves up till like that floor clears out.
Right. But okay, so like for us, we all know like when guys playing, basketball or whatever, there's crazy smack talking going on that
absolutely.
the viewers and no one else at home can see or knows what's going on.
Yeah.
So when you do kind of get one up on this person, you can't wait to celebrate. So it is like that genuine excitement. Yeah. So to me, when I see them throw that flag, whatever, I just think it's for the viewers. It has nothing to do with the sport.
Yeah.
It's for the viewership that I guess they don't want to have that kind of influence on the kids or whoever's watching.
Yeah.
Because why else are you having? What are you hurting a grown man's feelings?
Yeah.
By throwing a ball in the end zone? Are you kidding me?
Yeah. That's
who's that
purpose of
for?
the game, yeah.
Yeah. Because like I said,
then I know,
us
like,
as guys, we would like do the craziest smack talking.
There was a point where a couple years back where it got like out of control where the whole New York Giants would go into the end zone and they had skits that they would do when someone had a touchdown. Like it was like a whole team thing. Like
showboating.
The one I don't know they'll line themselves up as like bowling pins and one dude rolls and knocks them all down. Like it's like they had a bunch of different skits they would do. That's like
crazy.
too much.
Yeah, it is.
It's like
because when it. Okay, so I guess the argument would be when it's taking away from the actual game.
Yeah.
That's when you have to, throw. But to me, I feel like not this year. This year they're actually letting them slam the ball again, which sounds hilarious. But it was like a year or two ago, someone was slamming the ball in the end zone and they got a flag. Yeah, you couldn't spike it.
Yeah, I think they were getting fined and stuff.
Yeah, or they might still be getting fined. I don't even know how it all works. But I know every time someone celebrates in the end zone and throws a ball out into the crowd, that's $25,000.
Yeah.
The ball into the crowd?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did what's his name get fined for flipping the other night? Like yesterday's Eagles game? The end zone?
I don't know.
Ran a 98-yard touchdown and
did they throw a flag?
No.
That's what I'm saying. No,
So,
they got looser. What happened was it got like what Goose is saying. It got so carried away with the celebration, so they had to do something. So then they got over the top tight with it. So then you couldn't do anything. Like the ref was like literally in your face, looking at you, waiting for you to do something. It got weird, and then they backed off because it got terrible feedback. Like it got really bad feedback.
Yeah, you're entitled to celebration for a touchdown like that.
Well, that's what they're saying. They're that's what I was saying. They're trying to differentiate excessive celebration. They're not saying don't celebrate. They're saying excessive.
Right. No. Yeah, I understand that.
Well, then you're just killing the time, and it can get carried away.
Yeah,
right.
I know every time McNabb made a touchdown, he would do every like Michael Jackson move. He'd do the moonwalk, or he did like the whole Thriller thing.
Yeah,
which wasn't often, but he always did some Michael Jackson move every time he made a touchdown.
All right, so I got a great joke for when you're asking for a raise.
Oh boy.
So getting a raise would be a nice little celebration you could do, right?
Absolutely.
All right, so Sam walks into his boss's office and says, "Sir, I'll be straight with you. I know the economy isn't great, but I have 3 companies after me, and I would like to respectfully ask for a raise." After a few minutes of haggling, the boss finally agrees to a 5% raise, and Sam happily gets up to leave. "By the way," asks the boss, as Sam is getting up, "which 3 companies are after you?" Sam replies, "The electric company, the water company, and the phone company."
Yo, what?
That's
I guess
great.
3 companies are after you.
Absolutely.
That is great.
That's awesome.
You
Well,
need that extra money.
He
to
can
pay
go
that.
celebrate after that raise. 5% raise. That's impressive.
Good. That's really good. You never see that.
Man, you did really good there, buddy. All right, with that being said, we're going to wrap this episode up with 2 quotes, one from Tom Peters and the other Dianna Agron. The first one, "Celebrate what you want to see more of." Tom Peters. Totally agree. That goes back to the whole law of attraction.
Yes, sir.
You put it out there, you whatever you put out, it's like a boomerang. So you throw it, it's supposed to come back. People call it karma, law of attraction, whatever you want to call it. It's real. And the second quote, My goal has always been not to look forward to the next thing, but to relish and celebrate the successes I have at the moment. Whether it's landing a part in a student film or having a good day in acting class, I never discredit anything. All right, Dianna Agron.
Nice.
I'm right there with you. That is phenomenal. All right, so in this episode, Let's Celebrate, we discussed what celebrating means to us and its importance, our favorite things to celebrate, things we enjoy celebrating with our children, what we wish we celebrated more often, and our views on excessive celebrations in professional sports. We wrapped the episode up with quotes from Dianna Agron and Tom Peters. Awesome. Guys, thanks again for joining us. The Rotated Views podcast was produced for self-development purposes. Huge shout out to our sponsors. This episode is brought to you by the Blessed Lifestyle brand. That is BL3SSED.com. Also sponsored by The Motivation Files Unleashed. This motivational mixtape will be your fuel for success. Available on all platforms. Guys, don't forget to visit the website, JimmyleeVelez.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Rotated Views. If you have any inquiries or questions, email us at info@JimmyleeVelez.com. On behalf of myself and the rest of the crew, we wish you massive success. Stay blessed.